Nation segment. Please give us money so we can continue to irritate you. Welcome to the Guns for Everyone podcast. We're 1 week late. I just realized just this moment that we were going to invite gun websites to the next one.
Yeah.
I mean,
and the next one was the next one was 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Man, we just didn't do it.
I actually realized this a week ago when I was watching one of his videos, and I was like, shoot. So next time, hopefully he shows up and begs us.
as people do to be on this podcast.
Yes. People beating down our door. Like, basically, we're as popular as Joe Rogan.
Basically.
So, all right. It's been, 3 weeks, a month? What's it been?
It's been about a month.
Okay.
Yeah, it's been almost a month.
We're here now. Last time, it has been a month because the last time we were supposed to do a show, I was in Cleveland and Edgar was sleeping?
Yeah, right. That week,
so you were preparing for a Gunmakers match.
Yeah, I was preparing for a Gunmakers match. I had just done a fucking touch and go trip to Creed on Tuesday.
Oh, you went and did the mental health support thing?
Yep. Presentation for the community. We did it at a school. Talked to some community people, talked to some kids. And this is a small town, so when I say some, it was fucking the whole town was there, all 20 of them. But it was good. And then it's basically drive all the way to Southwest Colorado and then fucking drive back and do some car maintenance and errands, and then early Thursday morning fuck off to Amish country in Michigan. So that was fun.
It was Michigan. Yeah, not Pennsylvania. I mean, I know we've talked about that a few times, but I keep forgetting. So how did Gunmakers match go?
Gunmakers, the match itself went good. A lot smaller than we're normally used to. It's probably our fault more than anything else. Just poor planning and very late planning, all that shit. Super late planning. I don't think we even thought about doing it until like January. So very short notice, but also the range we did it at probably can't handle. I'm saying probably because we don't know. Maybe next year if we do it there again, just to be a fucking cocksucker, I'll fucking make sure 80 people compete, because you know how I like to do that shit. Like, what do you mean only 10 people fit here? But it was a little bit more intimate. The range, it was on a family ranch. So imagine this at fucking down at the go at fucking Hatchet Ranch.
Mm-hmm.
You really can't do more. Just facility and area and shit like that. You probably couldn't do what we normally do. So it was a little bit more intimate. It's not a bad thing. It was actually good. It was a nice change.
Has anybody come to the Makers match every single year?
Yes. There's been a few people that come every single year. And don't ask me what their names are.
Well, we probably shouldn't share them anyway, because they're like super nerds and they probably don't want their names blasted out over the internet. I'm only saying that because I've met a few of these people and they're definitely super nerds.
Yeah, they're and in the most positive way too.
Because I've only made it to one Makers match, and it was fun. It was really eye opening. I learned a lot, and also it was totally. I don't want to say infested. That's the wrong word. overwhelmingly super nerds, including somebody who brought a CNC machine with them to the Airbnb.
Yeah, no, they bring a lot of these people bring their 3D printers for last minute
Yeah.
touch ups, and
No, I think this was an actual CNC machine, like a milling machine.
we gave that away.
Oh, okay.
That was a ghost gunner. So the first 3 years, we gave away a ghost gunner. Cody Wilson,
Hmm.
he's the one that gave them away because it's his kind of design or his
Okay.
baby. Uh,
Was he at the one that I went to?
no, he was at the very
Okay.
first one.
Okay.
At the one, Garrett, he works with them, and he's he's been there basically every single time. Um, but yeah, yeah, they do bring their own shit, fucking remake stuff, and it's pretty fascinating to see. I think wholeheartedly that even if you're not into 3D printing, I'm not into 3D printing. I'm all about making your own guns. But even if you're not about making your own guns, the gun makers match is a very awesome way for humans to just understand history, how guns work, and really our freedoms. If anything else is so, there's a lot of humans that don't participate in gun making. They're just there to kind of see what the fuck it's all about. So it's good times, good times.
So there is another range, as I understand. Well, I'll talk to you about it offline. I don't want to put you on the spot and say somebody's name and you're like, nah.
Put me on the spot. Fuck it. I'm feeling fussy.
But I've recently found out that somebody that we know has built their own infrastructure outside of Atlanta. So maybe that might be an option. Somebody we worked with before, who I think,
Yeah, they just had an event.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Over the weekend.
yeah,
Yeah, I don't know. I would be okay with it.
hmm,
So I think this is probably part of the shit that goes on in the background that I'm not a big fan of,
hmm,
is like deciding where it goes, and
yeah,
shit changing fucking every 30 seconds, there's just no concrete plan, and like the quasi like it works, it's unless you're running a big fucking organized event, and then it'll work. I mean, if the humans are there and the infrastructure is there, you can run it like absolute fucking horseshit, and it'll fucking work. We know this from sporting events, and if you've ever been to a concert at fucking Red Rocks, it's poorly planned. It's planned like shit. It's organized like shit. It's fucking chaos. It works, but because the people want it to work, not necessarily because the organizers want it to.
right, yeah. Kind of
So
a funny example of that. I was at my son's graduation last weekend,
mm,
and it's at a large venue, and the parking lot is like divided in half.
yeah,
And it's easy to end up in one side of the parking lot. It's hard to end up in the other side. So naturally, on that side, there's a lot less cars there. And then everybody ends up parking in this one lot. So what does that create? Well, everybody's got to leave at the same time. So it's just gridlock. Nobody wants to let anybody in. So it's just chaos or whatever. So I'm walking to my car. I'm on the easy side. I'm on the side that doesn't have any people in it. And I'm walking from the populated side, and people are honking, and it's just chaos.
yeah,
And there's nobody directing traffic.
yeah.
I walk over to the easy side, and there's one guy standing there doing this to nobody. Like, dude, the work is behind you. But again, like you said, people want to be there. It's graduation, so who cares how it's run? It's just going to happen.
Yeah.
So,
It's that gets frustrating and overwhelming, and
yeah,
constant, like, I said this, but it's really this, and I said this, and because there's so many fucking miscommunications on the background, and I think that's the beauty of the people that show up. Like fuck guns for everyone. Fuck myself, Pinkus. Who gives a fuck about us? Like that says a lot about the humans who show up. And they're like, I just want this to work. I just want a space to make the guns and show off the guns and do all the shit. And they're the ones that make it work at the end of the day. And it doesn't matter what the fuck we do.
Yeah,
So
when I came for the one in outside Pittsburgh, my experience of the whole thing was on that side, on the plant, like on the side of people running it. I had no idea what was going on. So you give me a task and I will try to do the task, but I don't really know what's going on. And I got in charge of running an entire stage. Not only have I never run a competition stage before, I've never even shot a competition stage before. And somebody's like, okay, here's what you do. You do this, you do this, you do this. What's up, Miguel? And you run the stage. So I got people, competitors coming on the line telling me that this is how we score it and this is how we do these things. I'm all right, cool, like, but they wanted it to happen, so we were cooperating to get it done.
yeah,
And then it started raining and nobody cared, and it was a very successful, very fun, even very low stress event for me,
yeah.
because the people were so motivated to just participate and try to see if their gun could make it all the way through the competition, more than they were focused on, is this the right way to run an IDPA match?
Yeah, but on the organizing side, I think that's a huge kind of fallacy. This idea, like, well, it worked out, so who cares about the chaos?
Yeah.
And it's kind of true, but all at the same time is like, but it could have been that much better if it was.
Yeah. I'm talking
No, no,
about more
sure.
from my side of my experience with it. You and Pinkus were like bitching at each other from the moment we pulled up.
No.
Yeah.
Never.
We pull up and we had just been to Home Depot, and we get out of the car, and I think the first thing Pinkus says to you was like, I thought you were going to be here this morning. So yeah, I mean, things could be better. Just because it worked, it doesn't mean it couldn't be better. But to your point about, how important is it that everything is perfectly planned versus how important is it that the people are there for the right reasons?
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I mean, it does matter to organize it correctly, but if the people want it to happen, shit's gonna happen.
yeah.
I mean, it's gonna happen. How many concerts have I've never actually been to a concert like this, but I've seen videos of concerts where the band isn't there. Oh shit,
Mhm.
oh, never mind. You took me to a punk concert.
Yeah.
Where the drummer just fucking gave up
No, the bass player quit in the middle of the show.
in the
Yeah.
middle of the fucking show. And and nobody else gave a fuck. Like,
Yeah.
you noticed it because there was only like 100 people there.
Yeah.
It was a small venue, but everybody else was like, "Fuck it, I paid the money, I'm here."
Yeah.
But I see a lot of those videos where like even the band doesn't come out and like, "Fuck it, we're here, we paid the money,
Yeah.
we're gonna make this shit happen."
Unless you go to a Taylor Swift concert, then you expect perfection. So here we are in the first 15 minutes talking about Taylor Swift.
You brought that shit up.
So yeah, I had a few different ideas about things to discuss this evening, but I wanted to see if you had anything on your mind, anything happen in classes, any new information. Just
I had some things, dude, but May's been fucking nuts.
speaking of nuts.
Fucking speaking of nuts. Shit has been. So there's a few things, but I couldn't remember. There's yeah, I couldn't remember.
Well, let's start off with a video. I like videos because it keeps people interested, and I like to surprise people with the content, because in the age of YouTube channels like Police Activity and Midwest Safety, you can almost anticipate which videos all the gun tubers are going to gravitate to. A new video will come out, and like this video or this gun tuber, this gun tuber, this gun tuber, they're all going to do a analysis of this video, and it's boring. It gets boring really quickly. So I try to come up with something a little
Dude, some
more.
YouTubers are going to just talking about news.
Oh, dude, don't get me started. One of my favorite gun tubers, who's not really a gun tuber as much as he is a YouTube attorney, has switched from good, solid legal analysis of self-defense cases to just Trump 24/7.
Yeah, it's fucking bonkers.
And I'm trying to figure out why, because this guy has dedicated his life, and this is Andrew Branca. I'm not going to pull punches here. Andrew Branca has dedicated his life to his craft of being a criminal defense attorney, really focusing on self-defense cases. This guy started going to firearms training courses for his own benefit in the 90s. So not only does he have this long history of practicing law, but he's also somewhat of a historian of modern firearms training. I think a lot of his conclusions are still a little shaky, and maybe he's got some futtery still lurking around, but it doesn't take away from the fact that he has decades of experience in not only the law, but in learning about guns and so forth. And he's throwing it all away to talk about immigration policies.
Yeah.
Like what? I don't get that. I don't understand.
It's crazy. I've seen a lot of humans in this space. And when I say a lot, for me, if I'm noticing it,
it's a lot, because
it's a lot.
You don't spend any time really paying attention to this stuff.
Like I don't really like to watch a lot of gun tubers because they're mostly retarded.
Mm-hmm.
But follow us and subscribe to us. And
like us. We know what we're doing.
And yeah, there's been a few where it's just like, I thought you were a gun page.
Yeah.
And now you're talking about the Iran war and fucking the shit that's happening in the Middle East and pro or against Israel or Palestine. Like, you're a gun channel. Like, it's in your fucking name.
Yeah, I think that that's where the engagement is.
Yeah.
Like if you're chasing engagement, you will go where you think the people are. And you can just look at your analytics, and if you dip into a topic and all of a sudden you get a bunch of attention, if your motivation is engagement, like how can you not continue down that path?
Which kind of speaks to how little engagement there is in gun videos.
Mm-hmm.
Not that there isn't. Obviously, there's some pretty successful ones, but I think it's been so saturated where people are just like, it's not even that interesting anymore. It's how many fucking reviews of a Glock can you see? How many reviews of the latest Olight or fucking Streamlight or whatever fucking gear that's out there? It's like we probably already heard it.
Yeah, when we do our classes, one of the things we do from a safety point of view is we go through and ask everybody, what did you bring to shoot? Have you made any modifications to it? And what kind of a holster did you bring today? And when people start telling me, oh, I brought this holster, and I'm not familiar with it, I'll just say, is it hard or is it soft? Is it inside the waistband or out? That's all I care about.
I always tell them it's hard.
What's that?
I always tell them it's just hard.
Just hard.
Just hard, but not for the reasons you think it's hard.
So I'll ask somebody, what kind of gun you bring, and they will tell me like the model to like the serial number, like I've got the Canic blah, 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 blah with the blah, blah, blah and the blah, blah, blah. Like, okay, I don't care about that. I can't even keep up with what you're saying. Can you just tell me, have you made any modifications to it? And they're like, oh yeah, I put a Holosun 507 on it. I'm like, okay, I don't like. You have a red dot, all right. And then I'll ask about the holster, and it's the same thing with the holster. Oh, I've got a Tenacore, blah 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 blah. I'm like, okay, is it hard? Is it soft? Is it inside the waistband? Is it outside the waistband? So like, you get those people who are just like zeroed in on the gear, but that's maybe one or two people in the class. And that's, I think that's an example of like, there aren't that many people who are that interested in all these nuances most people, what they're trying to find out is, how do I carry a gun safely? How do I shoot the gun safely and hit what I'm trying to shoot at? So, and that's certainly where I'm coming from with it.
Correct. I had a dude with showed up with the Terran Tactical Glock. All the Terran Tactical shit. Fucking had no fucking clue what he was doing. It wasn't unsafe.
Yeah.
But the slightest, I think 2 times, because the slide, when you get good quality stuff, it's weird. But when you get good quality stuff, the tolerances are a little bit more, they're a little less tolerant. They get tighter, the tolerances get tighter. And we think it's a bad thing, but it's actually a positive thing. But it takes a little bit longer for it to wear in, and the quote unquote wearing period and all that shit. So his slide was still a little bit too tight, which I don't know if that's good or bad. But anyways, he had a couple times where the slide wasn't doing what it's doing, and it was probably mostly his fault the way he was standing. But anyways, it was a couple times where he had a failure to eject because of it, and he was fucking lost. And obviously, me is just like, that's a $2,000 Glock, and you don't know what the fuck you're doing with it. Like, perfect example for the rest of the class that you can know the lingo, you can watch all the YouTubers, you can buy all the dumb shit the YouTubers tell you to buy, and you can still be retarded.
Yeah.
Fucking weirdos.
I forget what I was going to say. Oh yeah, I don't have any ego in that conversation. People will show up and they'll say something, like they'll say a gun make and model, and I'll just tell them, I don't know anything about that gun. Can you tell me, is it this? Is it,
Yeah.
Because at this point, you'd have to be completely autistic to keep up with all of this stuff. With all the sub models. What's that?
They all pretty much do the same thing.
Yeah.
I've argued this with a lot of people that want to talk about the stuff. I was like, yeah, but like action wise, like in terms of the action, like is it a hammered gun, single action, double action, or is it a striker fired? In 2026, like that's really all you're gonna get. There's some weird old timey fucking variations and shit like that, but like for the most part, single action, double action, or striker fired. Like other than that, like it's they're the same shit.
All right,
mostly.
Let's look at this video. Okay. Let's see here if I got this right. All right. So here we are in some distant part of the world, and we got a couple motorcyclists here. And is it Mexico?
I don't know.
Could be Mexico.
We'll see the license plates here in a little bit.
We might. Okay. So I'm not going to tell you anything about the video.
They make the screen go big.
Oh, big screen. Here we go. All right. Is that better?
Yeah, it's better.
All right. So this is an example of body's natural reactions.
Whoa. Whiskey throttle's a motherfucker.
Whiskey throttle off a cliff.
Fuck that. Hopefully he's alive.
Hopefully. I mean, maybe he landed in a soft pile of dirt here. You got somebody operating
on your screen.
Yeah.
Do you have fucking gas pedal, fucking high beams, low beams? Is that from you or is that the video?
I don't see. Oh no, it must be the video.
Okay.
I bet you this is part of the car's system itself.
Nice.
I would guess, because a lot of cars are starting to integrate dash cams. Yeah. Oh, that's interesting. I didn't even notice that. Yeah. So here we go. So I bet you this person can ride a bike on a regular street as long as nothing goes wrong. Right.
Yeah.
But they're driving at slow speed, which increases the difficulty on the motorcycle. So things get a little bit more complex on uneven terrain. And they hit some kind of divot in the road or bump or something that drives the bike more towards the cliff face. And in an attempt to stop that from happening, the bike starts to go off balance. So we've got compounding problems, basically, which leads to a feeling of loss of control. And whiskey throttle tends to happen when people start to lose control of the bike. And then we go, we are full whiskey throttle here. And I was looking this up because I had some suspicions about whiskey throttle, but I wanted to confirm them. And basically what happens is that the brain is perceiving this as a life-threatening stimulus.
Correct.
And as a part of that, as the amygdala starts to take over, the motor controls start to go into that defensive response. And one of those defensive responses is you already have the object in your hand, you've got the throttle in your hand, and in an attempt to maintain some control here, your body moves into this like posture where it causes the throttle to start to move backwards. And then once that feedback loop starts, it doesn't stop until the bike crashes.
And there's also physics involved with this, right? Because the motorcycle is moving forward, and because of inertia, your body stays back. And as you grasp, that's really what's going on here is the grasp reflex. You're holding on to something, your amygdala says, hold the fuck on. And as the motorcycle is moving forward, your body stays back a little bit, and that causes it to rev a little bit more. And that only increases with you fucking being a weirdo. Because now you're no longer going with the bike. Like your body's like, I'm staying back. And then the motorcycle's like, no, we're going.
Yeah.
And then because you see his legs with like, I don't know what the fuck to do. It's almost like his legs say, let go, but his arms are like, no, we're going to fucking hold on. It's a weird fucking fight.
His brain is saying let go, but his heart is saying let's go. So like what would stop this chain of events is for him to let go of the throttle, just completely let go of the throttle.
Yeah,
but he can't.
His amygdala, he hasn't had enough repetitions with it.
Right.
I have seen humans who have experienced whiskey throttle enough at some point understand I just need to let go, because now you've had the repetitions of, in this context, I just need to let the fuck go,
or pull the clutch,
or drop the fucking bike,
or drop the bike. Yeah. And if your hand on the right hand, on the right hand, I'm using my left hand, but on the right hand is resting on the clutch, where you're doing the three fingers on the clutch and one hand over the handlebar. If at that point you do the grasp reflex, then the bike will just go into neutral, or not really neutral, but the clutch is not engaged. So, or the gears aren't engaged. So you can still have the grasp reflex, but you've set yourself up in a way that if that happens, the bike will not accelerate.
Yeah.
So, which arguably he should have been doing in this kind of off-road situation anyway, because you never know when you're going to need the clutch. The bike slows down. But yeah, you can do this through repetitions, although learning about whiskey throttle through repetitions is pretty dangerous. It's kind of like learning about how to fight with guns by getting into gunfights. So yeah, it'll work.
Kyle over at Empire Gun Club, who, by the way, I've never seen in a motorcycle. I didn't know you were a fucking motorcycle motherfucker. He's texting. He says it's a simple poor wrist position. His wrist is higher than level. So any jerking motion amplifies wrist straighten. Makes sense.
Throttle. Or the momentum that you were talking about, which causes his arm to get pulled straight backwards.
Yeah, physics, right?
Yeah,
fucking physics. I learned this early on before racing motorcycles. Clutch in and let it rev is the answer. But getting to that point of clutch in, let it rev, again, it's like for race humans. Again, and this goes back to the competition world people and everyday world people. Kind of the context is two separate things. I think in this context it would work out, but competition people would experience this shit probably a little bit more than everyday riders. You would think, anyways. Um, I don't know. It
Well,
You own 5 fucking motorcycles? Fucking prove it. Prove it. Next time at fucking Empire Gun Club, I wanna see all 5 of them.
just lined up.
Just lined up, all 5 of them. Which, by the
Yeah.
way, if you've never been to Empire Gun Club, you guys should go to Empire Gun Club. It's a pretty nice range.
It's
I
getting better all the time, right?
all the
They're yeah.
fixing that shit. Today I showed up and there was like a fucking shed that was better than last shed. They're always getting shit better.
That's a good sign. Investing in their own success. So yeah.
But if he only had 4 motorcycles, he can do even more. But he has 5 motorcycles, so he could only afford 1 shed instead of 2 sheds.
Yeah. So I would say that arguably anybody in a situation where they're sitting on a bike and everything is nice and calm, and they're facing the edge of a mountain with a ramp in front of them, would say you shouldn't accelerate the bike in this direction.
Yeah.
But once that limbic system takes over, there is no more conscious thought in control of what's happening anymore. And this is the point of what we talk about when we say training appropriately. If you get into a gunfight, you don't know at what point the brain is going to hijack itself, and you don't know what the stimulus is going to be that will cause that.
One of the biggest fucking battles, especially with the douchery, people who try and substitute competition shooting with defensive shooting, or try and mix the two, and some of it is interchangeable. We can admit some of it, a small amount, is interchangeable. For the most part, it's not, though. Timers, the way they do reloads, all of that shit works in a very controlled environment. And I don't care if you're exhausted and if you're breathing heavily, that is not the same as I'm about to die and your brain being completely taken over by the midbrain, by the limbic system, which wins every single time. By the way, this is not us saying it. Go talk to neuroscientists. And I think this is the most frustrating thing, is people who shoot competitively, people who shoot at the range frequently, people who have experience at the range will probably tell a neuroscientist that they're full of shit, because when I do it, it's just like, it's not the fucking same thing. It's not even close to being the same thing. Yeah.
So from a human point of view, when we're talking about experience versus data, measurable scientific data, the human brain is wired to accept experience over the theoretical.
Yeah.
Which is helpful in some ways, but not super helpful when it comes to like a deep understanding of a topic. There was a video I watched on YouTube where they do the man on the street, and the premise was 50% of adult males in the United States have been surveyed believe that they could land a plane in an emergency if they had to.
Correct.
And then they asked the person, "Do you think you could?" And you get a handful of like the guys that they put in the video. "Oh yeah, definitely. So they said, "Okay, well, we have a flight simulator right here, so let's do it." And they put them in the flight simulator.
Don't they have to watch a YouTube video first, and then their confidence increases?
In this one, there was no scientific approach here. It was just put them in the seat.
Yeah.
And one thing that was missing from the experience was they were not getting any help. So if you ever find yourself trying to land an airplane, you're almost certainly going to be on the radio with somebody, and they're going to be talking you through. And so you get stories about people who really don't know what they're doing or barely know what they're doing, and they're able to talk them down and get them safely on the
Small
ground.
planes.
What's that?
Small planes, like not
Small
commercial
planes.
airliners.
Yeah, I don't know if there's ever been an
No.
instance where a commercial airliner has been landed by a passenger with
Right.
no flight experience.
Yeah.
Um, so, but when they're in the simulator, if you're watching the video, you can see them doing things that are natural reactions to the stimulus that they're getting. One of them is to try to point the plane down to where their vision is going, and like point the plane where you want it to go. But when you do that, you pick up speed that you can't get rid of,
Correct.
and you're going to crash the plane. You're going to miss the runway. So counterintuitively, you have to pull back as you're descending.
And it's so easy to stall those engines too.
Mm-hmm.
Super easy to stall those engines.
Super easy. So it's an entertaining video. It's not really scientific. It's more of an entertainment and showing, kind of demonstrating the Dunning-Kruger effect. But when you get people who have watched airplanes land, and maybe they've watched a movie where somebody's flying a plane, and they're like, yeah, how hard could it be? And then you have a pilot who understands the whole process telling you, yeah, but you're not going to be able to do it. Like, no, I'm going to be able to do it.
We'll be able to do it.
So we have to prove it to them by watching them crash this plane before they'll start to accept, oh, actually, maybe there is some science here that I'm not aware of on how to do this properly.
That's like having adult kids, dude. I'm telling you, we warn people about fucking teenagers. Oh, teachers, fucking having adult kids is fucking, that's just interesting.
Yeah.
So, but you've been in this position because you now have adult kids where like, well, it's like, you should really look out for this.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, I know. Like, I got this. So like, no, I get it. Like, I know there's starving kids in Africa, but I've never been a starving kid in Africa. So I have no fucking clue what that's like. But I know there is.
Yeah.
Like, I've missed a meal, but like that doesn't mean I can live in a third world country. Like there's a difference between yes, I know, and I've experienced it, and I know how fucked it is to experience it. Like it's not the same thing.
And this is why I would bring a video like this to show that the things that we're talking about are not just, they don't just pertain to firearms. They don't just pertain to the use of a firearm in self-defense. These kinds of neurological responses to threats or perceived danger is how the brain functions in this context. Whether it's a motorcycle out of control, whether you're driving and you hit some ice and you think you're going to run into something, whether you're flying a plane, whether you trip and fall and you believe that the fall is going to kill you or seriously damage you, the system exists in the brain and you can't override that system. Now, I do hear people saying, yeah, but you can train yourself to overcome that panic. And that's not accurate.
No.
You can, well, it's generally not accurate. One of the things that pilots have trained to do is that once they start to get overwhelmed, they'll use verbal cues to try to backtrack to a point where they can get control of the plane. So that the axiom that they use, which is aviate, navigate, communicate.
Yeah.
It's a mnemonic, not a mnemonic device. It's a, what do you call that? It's a spoken set of instructions to help reorient the brain back to where it needs to be.
Yeah.
It's like a mantra, actually. I mean, people do this, Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, like it's to recenter yourself away from the panic. So to some degree, you could say that's overriding or trying to override panic or trying to get backwards from panic. But that takes time. Like somebody tried to stab you in the neck, the chances you're going to be able to sit there and be like, Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, like.
And my argument to that is always, you didn't overcome the panic. You've just learned how to kind of work with it. You've learned how to do something else to get you to think about something. It's like when you smoke a cigarette. When you smoke a cigarette, it's not not gonna get rid of your problems, but there's a lot of times where it's just like it's enough to calm your nerves and shit like that. I don't smoke, but you've seen me like fucking once in a great while fucking smoke a cigarette because I'm just fucking like I just need the nerves need to do something else right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
So there is some science to the the practice of verbalizing steps. Now, mostly it's a way of ingraining multiple parts of your brain into a, a response to a stimulus. So um, I was learning about this when it comes to high stress, like emergency department physicians and nurses working in a emergency, a trauma situation. And the example that I was reading about was intubating. So doctors are trained or have been trained. I don't know if they're still doing this. I assume they are, to verbalize each step that they're doing while they're intubating. And this is important because if you're intubating, it's because somebody isn't breathing. And now the clock is on, and somebody like this patient is going to have either permanent damage or die if they don't get oxygen flowing quickly. And a lot of times this is the doctor is managing a lot of information at the same time. And so they'll say things like insert the blade, visualize the cords, move the tube, all that stuff. And they're saying it out loud while they're doing it. And that's to keep them from escalating to the point of being panicked or overwhelmed. But it is a lot harder to talk yourself backwards from that escalation. You have to be able to use the verbal part of your brain, which your limbic system is bypassing in order to facilitate quicker responses.
yeah.
So
It's almost like you're trying to keep the higher cortex engaged.
right, keep it engaged is different than re-engaging it.
Yeah.
So again, we don't want to go to absolutes and say it's impossible to do that. But if you're just looking at the geography of the brain, the midbrain is a lot closer to the spinal cord and the rest of the nervous system than the higher cortex or the prefrontal cortex. So you're asking the energy that your body is spending to save your life to divert and go away from that system to the verbal part of the brain.
Yeah.
And your brain doesn't want to do that. It's wired not to do that. So overcoming panic, not really a thing. Preventing it, yes, but preventing it requires to some degree that you put yourself in as close to that situation as you can, or actually being in that situation and surviving it at least once, maybe more than that, to start learning how to keep yourself from going into that.
Well, this is where we get into the why military training, police training, and civilian training can almost never exist together because one is offensive.
Mhm.
You know what's going to happen. I had a fucking cop that I almost had to slap the shit out of her because she would shoot like this. I thought I had a yellow gun around, um, but she would press the trigger with her middle finger,
Mhm.
and I was like, you're not going to do that. Safety reasons. Your finger's way too close to that trigger. If something goes whatever, you're going to press that trigger. Like, well, I'm a cop and I've been a cop for 20 years. And like, yeah, you knowing that you're going to have to draw your gun versus me drawing my gun because a motherfucker's about to stab me, not the same thing.
Mhm.
I think
Yeah.
this is where we're at. Is civilians are usually instantly in the panic mode, and cops and military, we know what we're going into for the most part. There's sometimes there's an ambush and shit like that, but for the most part, I was told by the radio, I was told by people with more stripes on their sleeves, or little things on their collars to go to the place and do the fighty stuff. So like I'm anticipating the need to shoot. So like a surgeon is like I'm anticipating this shit. I already got the call. The ambulance is on the way. They're not breathing, they're not whatever. So I'm already anticipating the need to do this versus one of your nurses fucking collapses and that's the one you need to work on. Now it's fucking like there's probably more panic there in the I have very little knowledge or warning that this is about to happen versus I got the call, and I'm prepared. I kind of know that it's going to happen. Right? Again, competition stuff. In
Yeah.
competitions, you know everything's going to happen. They fucking walk you through it. So that's why we can never say that competition does the same thing as defensive stuff, because it's. I've never gone a walkthrough by a bad guy.
Well, yeah, I've been arguing with some competition people intermittently over the last several months, and when I talk about the planning thing, they'll talk about shooting competitions where you don't get a walkthrough, and my rebuttal to that is, yeah, but there are still rules that you're aware of,
and you
So-
get asked if you're ready.
and you get asked if you're ready,
Shooter ready?
and you have as much time as you need. Now you're racing the clock to try to win, but you can only move as fast as you can move. So that
Wait,
means
if they don't get a walkthrough, how do they know what they're shooting at?
um
They have to have an idea what the stage is.
yeah, well, not only that, but like you're still going to observe, right? So
The 20 other ones that went.
yeah, the 20 people who went before you. So maybe what they mean when they say, and like, I'll confess ignorance here because I haven't done this, but perhaps what they mean is like you don't get to walk the course and visualize everything you're going to do. You just walk to the starting line and they ask you if you're ready. But clearly there must be some kind of indicator of which direction you're supposed to go. And even if you can't see all the targets from the starting point, there has to be some kind of path that you need to walk in order to engage the targets.
Right.
Plus, the targets are going to be there. So if you come around one corner and you see a target off to the right, and you're like, oh, I can't shoot that one yet. I'll just go around this barrier and then I'll shoot that target.
Yeah.
That's planning. Because the targets are incapable of moving. So,
and that does happen in self-defense, but it's not a very common thing.
Right. And what we're training for is what happens when none of this is up to you.
Correct. Yeah.
Because you could be a competition shooter for 20 years and then be presented with a self-defense situation that kind of plays into your competition experience. And then lucky for you, great. Like you hit the self-defense lottery.
Yeah. Yeah.
But because it's not something you can plan for, we should rely on a system that works well when you don't have that advantage.
Correct.
And so this is one of the like when we talk about home defense, I try to hammer this point home to people in a home defense scenario where if you have time, you should try to set up your defensive action in a way that you can control as much as possible. So getting into a barricaded position, not because the law says you have to retreat, but because once you're in a barricaded position, you've made this shooting a lot more like a competition because there is only one place where that target is going to appear. It's in the doorway. If you're at Starbucks, you can't really do that, or you probably can't do that. But if you're in your bedroom and you set yourself up and say, when they come through that door, they're getting hot lead, it's because you had the opportunity to set this up like a competition stage almost.
Correct.
If you go searching through your house, you go doing your own one-man CQB, you've taken that advantage away from yourself. And maybe possibly given that advantage to your bad guys,
yeah.
So, and I think that's where some people, like where a lot of people get this competition thing twisted up, is you would see examples where people will relate that, like, well, that's kind of like what I do in competition, but that was just that one person's lucky break that their self-defense situation ended up like that. I actually have a video.
It's so easy to go searching for the shit that is going to fit your narrative. And for the humans who have no narrative, it's so easy to find videos that are consistent with what the body does naturally. And of course, again, like everything else in life, it's in the most likely of context, in the most likely of scenarios. It doesn't mean all scenarios.
Right.
Um,
So, judging by the video that we can see here, this is probably not the United States. We'll just say that it could be, but it's probably not. And these two guys are sitting here talking, and this bike goes by with two guys on it.
yep.
And
Bad
so
news.
this is a pretty good red flag. And the guy in the black, actually, both of these guys are paying attention, but the guy in the black is paying more attention. So he watches them go by, and he kind of turns his posture, and he can see them come back. So he sees them come back, and they go by again. So at this point,
still argue, when did the timer start?
well, that'll be even more of a question here in a second. So he sees them go by again. They're both looking at him, and he's like, okay.
I go inside right now. Like, I go inside, and I don't come the fuck back outside.
Yeah. I mean, this guy in the green, as you watch him, it's almost like he's excited that this is about to happen.
Yeah, he's so happy.
So this guy in black draws his gun, racks it, stages it behind his back. Gives himself some distance, so he has more reaction distance here. He backs up as far as he can go, and he's basically waiting at this point for the range safety officer to say, "Shooter ready, stand by, beep." So if you're looking at this through the competition lens, you would say, like, wow, that's pretty similar to the first target in a shooting stage. I mean, that's the way it looks to me.
Correct.
So,
and of course, that's how you get into the ready position.
Right. But this is offensive. This is purely offense right here.
Correct.
Because he had plenty of time to get into a barricaded position, maybe lock the door, depends on his, whether he owns the place or not. But he chose, like, I think we're about to get robbed, and I'm going to wipe at least one of these criminals off the map. So,
which, if I'm in Brazil, I probably don't disagree. If I'm in the US,
and when we talk about values and stuff, like, this is an example of, like, we can't dictate values to people.
Yeah.
And perhaps in his neighborhood and in his city and in his country, he'd be hailed as a hero, and he'd be very comfortable with what he believed he had to do in this situation. I'm not
in a corrupt system where the cops probably ain't gonna do shit, even if they do get him. Like, it's in the US, I'm going inside, I'm running, I'm getting I'm fucking off.
Yeah. He does something else here that I think is unique to an offensive shooting, generally speaking, unique to an offensive shooting, which is, as soon as that buzzer goes off, he's closing the distance. He's moving in on the target because he already knows what's about to happen, and he is in that attack mode.
He gets points off because he crossed the yellow line.
Oh yeah,
he crossed
right here.
Yeah, I think he crosses that, and
then the urine line.
You can't play it. Does he cross the line?
Yeah. Oh yeah, he definitely does.
Yeah. See that?
Yeah, DQ'd right there.
Fucking, maybe not DQ'd, but a procedural for sure.
Yeah, procedural. If you step over the line, you lose points, right?
Yeah.
Depending on the match. Interestingly, though, he doesn't press this advantage and shoot the guy on the bike.
He just wanted the dude in red.
Yeah. So, anyway, this one really struck me as, like, really the difference between offensive and defensive. So, but
CQB shit, or not CQB shit. Yeah, I mean, inside the house, clearing the house, slicing the pie. That's offensive. That's not defensive. That's why any good instructor would, even if you're teaching it, you would teach it as this is I'm not going to go searching for shit all by myself in a house where there might be 4 bad guys. Like, it's generally a bad idea. Sometimes you have to. If my kid is in danger, you bet your ass I'm going to fucking go and do some fucking John Wick shit, because the alternative is I do nothing and my kid dies.
Right.
Like,
right.
I'm in a shitty situation no matter what.
I have another example of that, but I don't know if I have it in this file. I'm gonna see if I can find it real quick. But it's a video that went around for a little bit when it happened, and I don't think I have it on this computer. Yeah, it was a guy who shot a bear in his house.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Which I think we looked at on this podcast before. But I listened to an interview that the guy gave. Well, a lot of us, we watched that video and are like, holy shit, this guy just wasted a bear with a suppressed rifle in his house. He even had his whatchamacallit, the infrared laser on the gun. And he didn't have his night vision on, but I think his cameras were IR cameras.
Yeah.
Or they had, I think so. Anyway. But in the interview, he said that this is not the first time they've had a bear try to get in the house. And he was pretty sure that that's what was happening, that there was a bear in the house.
Yeah.
So when you're talking about searching, it's a different opponent, right? It's like, you're not talking about a bad guy. You're talking about a bear. Motivations are different. Abilities are different, all that stuff. And I think that given the circumstances, it really made sense what he did in that situation, especially because he does have kids in the house. So it's not like you can tell a bear that you're armed and please leave, the cops are on their way.
Yeah.
So, I don't
give a fuck about what gun you have.
Yeah.
Until you smoke it.
And I think, in the limited time that we have with people in a training class, we don't always have time to go into the nuances and the difference of the elements of when that part of the brain tries to take over versus when it doesn't try to take over. But to some degree, it's in play, because once this is known to be a lethal encounter, your brain is going to start to turn those systems on. But my understanding is it's only going to use them to the point where it needs them, or the brain thinks it needs them. So there is some wiggle room here between the frontal cortex operating with the help of the limbic system versus the limbic system taking over and losing control of that frontal cortex.
The complexity of when the limbic system is actually in play. A lot of people will argue that in my match, I was in the limbic system, the limbic system, because there's a lot of people that understand a little bit of how the limbic system works, but they're Dunning-Krugering the shit out of it. They're like, I don't think you know how the limbic system works. The amygdala is designed to send an alert to the thalamus and the hypothalamus. Go look the shit up. To the thalamus and the hypothalamus. And then they're the ones that send all of the chemicals and all of the signals to the corresponding shit to do the stuff, fight or flight, all that shit. Like, you might get an alert to like, oh shit, the beeper went off, or the timer went off, or the instructor said up, or the instructor said whatever. You might get this quick little like, but that's as far as it goes, because the thalamus will be like, no, we're good. Like, it's like, you're sure it's a quick little alert, but it's just like, you're in the class. You're not gonna die. There's not a bear in your house. You're good. Just calm your tits. You're good. Just go do your shooty shit and be happy. This is the struggle even in our classes, where it's just, you'll never get to that point of, oh shit, I'm about to die. But there's a lot of people who feel like they were exerted, so it's the same shit.
Exerted, or they felt a mental load of performance anxiety, interpersonal conflict, not interpersonal conflict with violence, but just words.
Correct.
And because you do get students who are nervous, and you're telling them something and they're not hearing you.
Oh, I got one dude who got kind of fucking pissy with me because he kept fucking putting his magazines in his pouch.
Mm-hmm.
Finally, I had to bring him in front of everybody. I was like, this is retarded. And then I was like, what's in your mag pouch? You pulled out empty magazines. I was like, so now I need to reload. Chances are probably slim to none, but we are in a class and we are approaching, we do achieve slide lock. So let's go through the motion. I was like, but now some shit happens, and this weirdo has fucking empty magazines in this fucking mag pouch, because that's what you do in doucheland is you keep them in your fucking mag little container. But I was like, now he has fucking empty mags. Like, well, I'm gonna know which ones. Like, the fuck you do. And then sure enough, we go to the lateral motion, and then he doesn't do lateral motion. I was like, this is it. Like, you can't even fucking take a step to the side because of the mental overload.
Mm-hmm.
You can tell me that when you're fucking dying, some big motherfucker is gonna stick his fucking dick inside your butthole. You're gonna be able to tell which magazine is which, the empty one or the fucking full one. I don't. You can't even take a fucking step to the side. Uh, and to your point, that overload of information does make them feel like, oh, this is the same thing as if I was about to die. Like, it's not. It's just your brain has very limited bandwidth.
Yeah.
Very limited bandwidth.
Your brain, I saw this stat, and I'm going to try to remember the right numbers, but at any given moment, your brain is exposed to, when you're awake, approximately 11 million bits of information. Bits meaning like a measurable, size of data in computer terms. But your brain is typically only capable of processing 50 bits of information at a time. And the analog to the bits was essentially one sentence. 50 bits of information is like one typed out sentence. Now, these are not great measurement tools, right? Because we can't really visualize that very well, but we can kind of understand scale. 11 million versus 50. So
I've got the article up. This is from Princeton Neuroscience. It's written by this cute chick. There's a lot of cute chicks in science, man.
The question is, do they stay that way?
Currently, couldn't give two fucks. Our brain is bombarded with information every day. Imagine standing in Times Square, New York City, with flooded light, blah, blah. According to one estimate, we receive about 1 million bits of information per second, which is about the same amount of information needed to stream a high definition movie. Acting in this world, for example, yeah, that's fucking crazy. Anyways, you guys can go read it. Cute chick Adele Ardalan, February 23rd, 2024. And I'm sure there's plenty more articles, but this one's from Princeton Neuroscience. Go check that. I bet you competition people are like, no, she's fucking wrong because my timer said and nope, that's not the way. Because fucking the guy on Colianor said that fucking it's different. So this person who went to Princeton and studied the brain doesn't know shit. Anyways,
so that being true, overloading your brain with tasks and information is not hard to do. We have conditioned ourselves to ignore 99.9999% of the data we're getting. Like, as I sit here in this chair, I'm getting data from my feet, in my socks, in my shoes, on the floor, and my ass, in my underwear, in my pants, on the seat. And at the same time, I've got light coming in from different directions, but we focus our attention to what matters for the task that we're doing.
Correct.
However, we can get overwhelmed if the complexity of that task exceeds our ability to process information. And so, to the point of overwhelming students in the class, the goal is not to overwhelm them, but overwhelming happens, especially when their patterns of behavior are interfering with them being open to paying attention to the right things. Yeah. So if they're doing something that conflicts with that information overload by like trying to manage magazines in a pouch, and we're asking them to also move and to do multi-threat engagement and to load the magazine into the gun in a new way that they haven't done before because it hasn't reached that automaticity, they're not going to be able to do it. They have to slow it down into individual steps in order to be able to do it. And they're not going to just magically be able to produce those results because they want to.
Uh-oh. Isaac ran out of minutes. Isaac's internet has run out of minutes.
Did I drop again?
While he winds that shit up. You wind it up again?
I think so. I can hear you now. So
okay.
Anyway, yeah, same point, just stating it another way. So, yeah, I had a guy in the class last weekend. Was it last weekend? The weekend before? Who, and this is pretty common. Older people tend to have more of trouble with this.
Yeah.
It's okay. It just is the way it is. But it's amazing the difference between people who are, in the right mindset and have all that plasticity in their brain versus somebody who's older, who maybe might be in the mindset of like, I know what I'm doing, leave me alone. And they don't have that plasticity, and how quickly that whole thing starts to break down. I had a guy in the class who I seriously considered telling him that he was done and come back another time. But I did see a glimmer of potential in him, and we kept at it. And by the end of the class, he was actually doing a lot better.
Yeah.
But
a lot of these old humans is just their fucking pride is, and I get it. It's frustrating, right? We're you and I are at that cusp of, oh shit, like we're fucked.
Yeah.
Like fucking from a medical standpoint, and it is frustrating. Like it is frustrating. Like, what the fuck is my body doing?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what do you mean I need to fucking go pee for the 15th time? Like it's a joke when you're young, and now when you're experiencing it, it's like, what the fuck? This is crazy. And then you get frustrated that your body's not working, so you want to pee more because now you're frustrated now, and then your fucking butthole's turning inside out. And then your balls are extending and growing to the size of avocados. And on top of that, I have to go get a fucking concealed carry permit.
Yeah.
I have to go to an 8-hour class, and I have to listen to this fucking short fat Mexican that's not even from my country, that came here illegally.
Yeah. Yeah, actually it was funny because as we were getting started in the class, for some reason I happened to mention my age. And this guy who is younger than me, he's like, "You're 44?" And I go, "Yeah." He goes, "Man, you don't look 44." I go, "Yeah, I don't know, but I feel it." And this old guy, he just goes, he's like, "You feel it. You have not earned the right to say that you feel it. Wait till you're 70, you know."
You want to see it? I will show you.
Yeah.
I feel
but now he's got to listen to this kid try to tell him how to do something that he believes he already knows how to do, and like you said, to some degree, like I understand, but we got to get past it. And I gave him some time to just settle in, and he started to get past that stuff and just focus more on applying the things he was being told rather than just trying to perform the things that he thought he was supposed to be doing. Because that's what was getting him, was this performance thing. And he was fighting with his gear, and he wasn't hearing me, and he was doing, his fingers on the trigger, all this stuff, but like I said, I saw potential. And so we continue to work through it, and he did much better by the end of the class.
Yeah.
So, but again, it tends to be a guy thing. Like I get old women in the class, and we don't have nearly the same number of problems.
It's rare. Again, I had that lady who was a cop, and she's like, wow, blah, blah, blah. Like she very much fucking shot up testosterone or some shit.
Yeah.
But it is, like, I don't know what it is about us where we're too retarded to just say, I don't fucking know. Like I'm wrong. Maybe it's because our wives constantly don't let us be right. That it's just like, you're not gonna win with me. I need to win with you because I'm gonna go home and fucking lose this shit. Like, this fucking lady just told me that the sky was purple, and I had to agree with that shit.
Yeah, I bring that up when I'm talking about the legal argument for self-defense, and I say, if you've been married long enough, you know that you could have the most airtight argument in the world and you could still lose. Because like there's a tyrant who's disagreeing with you, and that's just the way it is. You're wrong. So
you're fucking wrong.
The title you put on this episode, Instructors Profit from Mandates, was there something that
I didn't know what we were going to talk about, so I was like, fuck it, that's probably a good one. HB 25003 is about to come into play. There's a lot of instructors now lining up to make money off of this. There's obviously a lot of instructors in the concealed carry world who are happy to make more money off of concealed carry classes. So it's that very basic idea that if you're an instructor making money off of new laws, you're part of the problem. And it's weird how they don't see it. Like for them, it's just like, well, that's capitalism. I was like, yeah, but like, look at what you're selling. Like it's one thing if you're snake oiling it and you're like, Amway. And I said to one of my students today was so proud about Amway, and I had to tell her so she sold insurance. She sold something else, and she was an Amway rep, and I was like, we're cool with the other two. Amway can go fuck themselves. I wanted to know, I don't want to talk to you about Amway at all, but we could talk about Progressive. I think she sold you. And anyways, she there's a difference between even Amway, right? Like we can even talk about Amway. Like if you want to sell Amway, I can say fuck Amway. It's a pyramid scheme. It's fucking garbage. It's whatever. But if people are buying it, like at some point, it's just like, I tried.
Because nobody's making them do it.
Correct. It's not mandated. It's not a legal thing. You're not there by force. And it doesn't take any of your rights away. If anything, you have the right to be a retard.
Yeah.
You have the right to do this. When you're an instructor and you're taking advantage of humans having to, by law, go to you after they fucking violated and raped the shit out of the Second Amendment. And the year before, like last year, all kinds of instructors were like, no, I don't want this, and I don't want it. And some of them were like, yeah, I want this. But now the instructors are like, this is stupid. They're like, well, fuck it, I'm going to make money off of this. I think there's a big difference between I'm a capitalist and I am fucking raping the Constitution, and I'm going to profit the entire time while I'm raping the Constitution. There is a difference.
Well, let's try to steelman this argument for just a second, which is to say that people want to arm themselves.
Yeah.
People want to buy guns.
Yeah.
And under this law, they can't do it unless they take the training that I am equipped to provide to them. So aren't I helping them by making this training available to them? And then to make it sustainable, I have to make it worth my time. I have to charge a certain amount of money to not only pay for the resources and the materials and the time, or like the, range time, etc. But I also have to make it worth my while, the opportunity cost of what else I could be doing with my time. So that being said, where is the line between profiting off of that market need versus exploiting a law for your own benefit?
Yeah.
And I would say, like, at some point, the higher ideal has to take over. And the higher ideal is, according to what people say, is freedom. So I'm in it for freedom. I have guns because of freedom. I want to defend freedom. I will use my time and energy to defend freedom. But on the side, I'm going to profit off of a lack of freedom. So if we're talking about the law that says all the gun shops have to apply for a license from the state in order to operate, Like, well, this is my business. This is my livelihood. Well, what if all of the gun shops said, we're not doing that?
Yeah.
What would happen? Would they shut all the gun shops down? Well, I think that if they did shut all the gun shops down, that would motivate people to engage with the political process to get the law overturned. But you're always going to have somebody who's like, hey, all the gun shops are closed. We're the only ones still open. Bass Pro is going to stay open.
Yeah.
Shields is going to stay open. But if so it's complicated, and I agree with you. Like, they are profiting off of something that they shouldn't be, and obviously we decided we're not going to participate. I don't think we can facilitate these training classes for free. I don't like, we would lose so much money that it would put us completely out of the ability to operate. But on top of that, we would have to submit people's names to the government in order to participate in the class. And that was the point where I was like, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
So, because we even talked about maybe charging for the class, like for a brief moment, like, can we do these classes even if we have to charge for them? But to me, it was like, I'm not going to submit people's names to this government system. In the concealed carry classes, we keep records so that if the cops come to us later and say, was this person in your class? They got a certificate from you. We can say, yes, they were in the class, but we don't, as a part of the class, we don't submit people's name.
And that's usually because the student also wants us to share their information.
Right.
As
right.
proof. Yeah.
Yeah. Who did you take the class from, or who, they're trying to clear their name by saying that they took some training. But I think that's a different scenario. I'm still not super comfortable with it, to be honest.
Correct.
But at the same time, we have seen this play out with actual cases where somebody used their gun and the cops, came to you and talked to you, and then you had to give testimony about what was taught in the class, to be able to say that this person was not given, bad information about, how to use their firearm. So, but you've said this before, we all have to decide at what point we're not going to continue to participate. So anyway, it's not just that, it's the concealed carry training classes themselves.
Yeah.
The increased time and resources and the increased need for things like renewal training. There is a profit motive where instructors seem to be pretty okay with taking advantage of the situation. So,
and I think that's the word right there is, I'm taking advantage of the circumstance. It's not even a, there's a lot of humans who, Memorial Day just happened. I made a post a while back. I don't usually do this, and I don't know why I did this on the Guns for Everyone page. But I usually don't like to post non-gun related shit. But the post was of this thing. I don't agree with what these humans did. And I feel the same way during Veterans Day. I don't agree with war. I think war is retarded, mainly because it's two governments deciding that they're going to sacrifice innocent humans, and then all kinds of innocent humans end up dying in this shit. Like, I think most humans kind of agree with that narrative, or that understanding. But there are a lot of service people who believe in their heart that if I go to Iran and I fight in Iran, I'm somehow helping the Second Amendment in the United States. I'm somehow helping the Fourth Amendment. We know that's not true. Like, my freedom isn't in the Middle East. My freedom is here. I'd much rather them go storm fucking Roy Ball's office and I'd much rather them go fucking to La Plata and fucking get my freedom back there. Like, I'd much rather that fight. But it again, it doesn't take away from them in their heart. They genuinely felt, I'm doing this for country. We disagree on that, but they genuinely felt. And I do think there's some instructors who do genuinely believe that they're doing a good. Like they haven't been educated to know, no, fucking robbed us of our rights and they're trying to sell it back, and you're basically the dealer.
Yeah.
You had the cartel come to you and said, I need you to sell this heroin to the community, and you're like, well, yeah, I need money, and fucking people want heroin, so of course I'm going to sell them fucking heroin. I get it, that's a false equivalency. Not too far off though. And that's
Are they the money changers in the temple? Because the money changers in the temple were basically selling God back to the people.
Yeah, I mean, paying for penance essentially. It's that type of shit, right? Like,
Yeah.
you pay this much amount, you're back to being saved again. Um, and that's essentially what you're doing. That's 100% what you're doing. And hey, again, I'm I genuinely believe there's some fucking instructors that are so naive, and that's all it is you're just so fucking naive. I get it. It hasn't dawned on you that you are the dealer of tyranny. You're dealing, this is your fucking, here's tyranny for you, tyranny for you.
Mm-hmm.
And people just have to pay it back, or buy all that shit back, and we accept it, and we're okay with it. And these are people that are our friends, mutual friends, acquaintances, people who we know. So it's tough to say that people who I I I'll still say respect are going to participate in them because it's going to line their pockets.
Yeah.
LT Arms, I will say this: LT Arms, the Gun Room, High Country Armory. I think we got the okay from SDS Guns. I think I need to get with you on that shit, but I don't see why he wouldn't participate in this. The Farms Equality Coalition. Now you could call it bullshit or whatever, but there's a handful of gun stores who already said, you know what, if you're making civilians go through this, then cops, when they buy guns from us, are going to have to go through the exact same process. There's no exemption. If a cop wants an AR-15, I need them to go through the class. I need them to show me that they passed the class. It's either that or I just give the fucking gun to. They have to go. So LT Arms, the Gun Room, all these places. If a cop wants to buy a gun, 3-day waiting period, no exception.
That's badass.
Yeah. Again, this is part of that whole Farms Equality Coalition. And again, many gun stores are like, no, because we're going to lose about 10% of our revenue if we do this. And again, for them, it's, and I won't call them out just yet. And maybe it's appropriate some other time. Again, I just yet, but it's those humans that to me is just like, well, fuck, you're choosing money over freedom. You say you want freedom, but you're clearly deciding that servicing Caesar and fucking making money off of servicing Caesar is more important than freedom. So then next year when they start passing these laws again, don't go to the Capitol and say you're about freedom because you continue to profit off of freedom. Like you can't have it both ways. I don't even have a good time doing the concealed carry classes. Like I fucking hate myself.
Well, the way that I justify it in my mind doing the concealed carry classes is I take the opportunity that these people are coming to the class because they need something, right? They think that they're coming for their certificate, but what I'm investing my time in is passing the best information that I can about defending yourself with a firearm. I spend so little time talking about the laws anymore because it's not why I'm there. It's not that the law is not important. You shouldn't be walking around ignorant to the laws. However, when it comes to defending yourself with a firearm, I firmly believe that knowing the laws is the last thing you need to be thinking about. You do need to understand that there is a legal risk in using violence. So I spend time explaining legal risk. But I don't care if people make a decision to get a permit or not. I don't care if people decide to store their gun in a way that conflicts with the law. I care about people behaving responsibly with firearms. And some people make the argument you can't be responsible if you're not following the law, and that's ridiculous because we can point to laws that are absolutely irresponsible behavior. But the law says this is the way it is, or the way it can be. So when I ask for people to donate, what I'm asking for is for them to return the value that they got from the information in the course, not for the piece of paper that they got from us. Yeah. So if they're going to go anywhere to learn about defending themselves, then I'm going to invest everything I have into giving the best information I can in the limited time we have together.
Yeah, and the concealed carry process is almost an afterthought.
Yeah.
It's almost like, I'm not here for you're here for the concealed carry stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not here for the concealed carry stuff. We market it a certain way because that's just market. When we say home defense course, I don't care about your home.
Mm-hmm.
I care about you defending yourself in a confined area, which, by the way, could be your office, it could be a car, it could be your business, like whatever. But we call it a home defense course because that's what people look at it as. I get what you're saying.
So, like, and I think that justification has happened through the experience of teaching the classes. Initially, when I got into it, it was like, oh, concealed carry class, here's all the laws. I mean, we used to spend a lot of time talking about the laws.
Yeah.
And over time, we started to realize that that's not where the real value in the time we have together is. And one of the main reasons for that is like, I'm not an attorney, and me trying to explain the intricacies of this law is beyond my qualifications or
even an attorney couldn't fucking explain in a 4-hour class.
Right. That's why they go to law school and pass a difficult test. Yeah. And then build their reputation by practicing the law. Yeah. I have never in my life practiced law.
Yeah.
I have studied law, but I have never practiced it.
Correct.
It's like a doctor. Well, you're a doctor because you went to medical school. Like, no, you're a doctor because you practice medicine. So that's how I've justified it, and that's how I think it's organically grown in my mind and my own like experience. And I don't want to say the word maturity like I'm somehow better. It's part of the process of just being exposed to it over and over again. But when it comes to buying the gun and going through the steps to buy the gun, if you choose to do that, then that's your choice, but I can't participate in that. Maybe that's a luxury for me to be able to make that distinction, but I don't think that's a luxury for you. You could pay the bills by doing it, bills that need to be paid, right? Like you, Edgar, need to pay bills, and this is all you do. I have other means of income. I have the luxury of turning something down, turning the money down. You, on the other hand, you could benefit quite a bit from doing this.
Oh, from fucking participating in SB 25.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Like I could live comfortably.
Yeah.
If I just undercut all of the other instructors. Yeah, for sure. I could live comfortably. But you've seen what I've told people who are fucking handing us tens of thousands of dollars.
Yeah. Thank you, but no thank you.
And I'm just retarded that way.
Yeah.
Like I can't do that. I've got, again, people who I'm still gonna say I respect, who will take a product they don't agree with, and because they're getting paid, they will try and spin it positively and say positive things like, I don't give a fuck how much you pay me. Dry fire practice isn't beneficial for defensive shooters. Like you can sell a product that does dry fire practice, and if you pay me enough money, I'm still gonna say dry fire practice fucking sucks balls. But if you're gonna do it, I can do this one. Like I could say that, but I'm never gonna say this is what a lot of the insurance companies want us to say, like say how they're gonna die if they don't buy us.
Yeah.
No, like and oh by the way, this company pays us, but every other company does the same shit. If you get them, you're probably just as well off as like I get their position where they're
Yeah.
like, what the fuck? They're like, but it's true. Like they all do the same thing. I don't give a fuck. I'd rather you go with this one because they pay us.
Well, I even got to the point where, like, I still hand out the flyers in the class for firearms legal protection. And if people ask me which one should I get, I'll say, well, the cheapest one that I know of is firearms legal protection. And they give you the things you need.
Yeah.
If we're talking about needing an attorney, they give it to you and they do it super cheap. Like, I don't think that there is a better value at this dollar point than this one. However, if you're going to ask me what the best one is at this point in 2026, I will tell you it's probably attorneys on retainer.
Yeah.
And if you have the money, you should get that one. And they don't pay me. In fact, all the interactions I've had with attorneys on retainer is me telling them how wrong they are. Like jumping into the YouTube comments and just talking
You're wrong.
mad shit to them about what they're doing wrong.
Yeah.
But in 2025, they redeveloped their product, and now I can say, even though I still have some problems with their marketing, this is definitely the best one out there, hands down.
Right now.
And they don't pay me to say that. They probably they should pay me to say that, but but that's not why I'm telling people. People are coming to me to ask what I think is the best option, and I basically have two options. You want to go cheapest? Go with firearms legal protection. You want to go with best? Go with attorneys on retainer. So,
and it's not even a cheapest doesn't necessarily mean bad.
No, it's a great product.
Yeah.
The thing about attorneys on retainer is that they cover a bunch of things that aren't related to self-defense, but are firearm related, and like things like negligent discharges, like that can happen to you. Right. And you might need an attorney in that situation, and it's covered. And the way they've structured their program, it's basically a bulletproof program. Yeah. And there's something to be said for that. Correct. So we're talking about basically two versions of a very good product. So, it's like, do you prefer Honda or Toyota? Well, I don't think it matters, but if you get a better deal on the Honda, take the Honda, Yeah.
So I guess we landed here just on this idea of back to that. Like I can't like which one's better, Honda or Toyota. Like I don't fucking know. But what I do know is that Toyota will never be able to pay me enough to say Honda's a shit product.
Yeah, exactly.
Like I'm gonna say it's been proven to be pretty reliable and shit like that. And by the way, they all have shitty things about them. They all have garbage things about them. And I think this is what a lot of people who are trying to justify selling SB 25003 is just, it's this idea of, well, they have to do it anyways. Well, it's government mandated. If I don't do it, somebody else will do it. It's this complacency of, let me try and figure out how I can tell my brain that it's okay to resell the rights to humans, and give them the info and make money as much as I can by in the process of reselling these humans their rights. And oh, by the way, last year I was bitching about it, and now I'm super happy that it's there because I get to make more money. And by the way, next time they pass another law, as long as I get to make money off of it, then yay, I'm gonna support, because you're essentially supporting SB 25003. You can't
Not only that, but
you cannot convince me otherwise. If you are an instructor who's participating in SB 25003, if you are a gun store that is participating 100%, you're like, yes, I'm going to make money off of this. You are essentially saying that I support it. You should have just signed up in favor of SB 25003 and you should have said this shit's gonna make me so much money. I'm glad we're taking people's rights away. Um, it sucks to say it, but you are the reason why we continue to see these laws.
On top of that, having sat through one of the informational seminars that the whatever the government agency that's in charge of this put together, you are participating in a seriously flawed system. And I don't mean that from a moral point of view. I mean it from a technical point of view. You are going to be passing people's data across pretty unsecure systems.
Yeah, for those of you guys that don't know, me, if I want to participate in this, I have to go to CPW website, make a portal for myself. And I'm positive a lot of people are going to be like, you don't enter their information, they enter their own information. Because they have to create their own information. But then the sheriff does the background check. It has to go in this order. Then the sheriff does the background check when you go to them, and then they submit it. They have to submit it and saying yes, they passed the background check, and here's the proof that they passed the background check. And then now they can go to you, and then you can look them up through the system, and all it says technically is they are okay to continue the process. This is in the CPW website. And then when they pass the class with you as the instructor, you have to submit the information that says they passed the course and they did the stuff. This human, yes, they entered their own portal and all that shit, but now you're providing information to the government saying they passed the shit so they can move on to the next step. And then they go to the gun store, and then the gun store can see through the portal their version of the portal. According to them, I can't see what the sheriff puts in there. All I see is that they're okay to take the class. That's all I technically can see. And the FFL, technically, all they can see is that they've gone through the entire process and they can now buy guns. Like, they're approved to buy guns. But you're still going through all that shit. You're still encouraging multiple background checks, because I have to get my background check for the concealed handgun permit. I have to get the background check for SB 25003. And then when I go buy the gun, I have to go through another fucking background check. And oh, by the way, a lot of these stores are raping the fuck out of humans on the background check fees. So like it's, I think ranges are the ones that are going to be profiting a fuck ton off of it.
Yeah.
SB 25003 does not have a live fire component to it. You do not have to pew pew for that one. So I guess there's that for that.
Well, aside from the fact that, that the sheriff's office and the instructor and the gun store are only seeing and updating portions of this customer profile, we'll call it, you're still participating in a customer, well, I'm going to call it a customer management system that is not secure. And I'm saying it's not secure because the people who created this system don't have a robust security plan. And the way they tried to sell it to the instructors was to say that you, the instructor, don't get to see all this data on the customer, on the person. But that doesn't mean it doesn't exist.
Correct.
And we're talking lots of PII. We're talking full name, social security number, address, date of birth, all of this stuff.
And some of it is optional. Like the social security number has always been optional, but most humans believe it as I need to do that. Like I actually need to put.
And regardless of it's optional or not, if it exists, it exists. Like if somebody's using it, they're using it. So, and the security argument from the Department of Wildlife, what is it? CPW, Colorado
Parks and
what Wildlife. Is the P? Parks and Wildlife is saying it's secure because you don't get to see everything.
Yeah,
like that doesn't make it secure. That just means I don't get to see it. It's still there. You still have it. And all customer management systems are a target for identity theft.
Dude, I've been fighting a fucking bot for like the past fucking month. I don't know if you've seen the email.
I've seen.
But I've been fighting this fucking bot, and we keep the registrations And we need to talk about how often we're going to delete those now. But even that, I'm like constantly losing sleep over fighting bots that can
Hmm.
actually crack into our system. And all we're talking about is first name, last name, and a bunch of fucking fake emails that people give us. And a lot of people give us their real emails, and we don't ask for social security. We don't ask for emails. I'm sorry, actual address. We don't make them put down all of that information. We don't. So we're just talking about three things that anybody could probably buy off of RMGO or Colorado State Shooter Association. Like you could probably go buy this information from them very easily. I'm fucking constantly fighting these bots, doing the IP shit. I'm not the greatest at web security, but I've learned enough to know that if you know how to inject even fucking forms, I can pull it up right now, a form, like a contact us form. Just because he's been texting me, I can go on Empire Gun Club's website and fill out a contact form, and all I need to do is inject a fucking specific code, and I can take over the website really fucking quick. If you've ever there's You could do it yourself. There's a lot of websites that'll teach you how to do this shit as an educational thing. They call it ethical hackers. And there's a lot of websites that'll teach you how to do it and what codes to inject, and it's primarily for business owners to learn how to prevent all of this shit. So, anyways, imagine us. We're like we're nobodies, and I'm constantly fighting hackers, bots, constantly fighting these motherfuckers. Can you imagine the state of Colorado? California, they hack their shit really
Hmm.
fucking easy.
Yeah, and
Uh,
they have a registry of gun owners.
yeah, they hacked that shit quick. Illinois, I believe their system was hacked, and
Hmm.
a lot of the people there were doxxed.
Hmm.
So like this idea that it's secure is like, no, it's you think it's secure. Even Signal, like Signal, there's a lot of people that, yeah, and I get it. Signal is a little bit more complex, but Signal's been fucking cracked.
No system can be 100% secure because that would mean that nobody could get into it, like even the users.
Even the users, yeah,
So, um, Max says Colorado requires occupation on state forms for handguns now.
yeah, yeah,
I didn't know about that.
correct.
So, is this like a question added to the 4473, or how does that work?
No, it's not part of the 4473 because that's a federal thing, and the federal government
Yeah,
can't go too
this is
far.
why I'm confused.
It's part of the state CBI process now. They have to have a record of your occupation. And now I've seen this in action at some of the gun stores that I go to, and it's more of like, let me just ask you, and whatever you tell me, I'm going to put down.
Hmm.
But a lot of people are actually putting down what their occupation
Yeah,
actually
people have a real aversion to lying on what they believe to be a government form.
correct.
See, I guess I haven't bought a handgun in a while because I don't know what the Colorado firearm dealer transaction log is.
That's part of the new licensing shit. This is part of the new licensing thing. Yeah, if we're being honest, this technically existed when you and I had an FFL.
Okay.
It technically existed. There was just no mechanism for them to enforce it. There was
Okay.
no sheet. There was no state licensing. There was no anything like that. Like I never met with the state person. So it was more of a technicality, and then they implemented the state licensing, and now you have to background check your people now, which a lot of people were doing that anyways. But like you have to background check your employees now. If they have to go through a training. So like it's we had a few employees, they would have had to have gone through this process, and like it's a whole fucking it's batshit crazy. It's
And the outcome is it just makes it more expensive to run your gun store. I mean, because we're talking about time and resources
Oh yeah,
to hire people and to conduct business.
correct. And now they can strip you from your state license.
Mhm.
Before, CBI really had no way to stop you. I suppose they could take away your portal so that you can't run background checks, but there was no real now they have a mechanism. This is why a lot of gun stores went away from selling 30 round magazines, because now if the state comes in and the Department of Revenue sees you selling 30 round magazines to non-LEO and non-military, they can shut you down for those violations. So it's gone crazy, dude.
Yeah. In the most general terms possible, what is your occupation? I am a underwater basket weaver. Yeah, I mean, I was listening to somebody talking about how I think this was a gun law that was passed. I'm trying to remember what context it was passed in, but it came down, and a bunch of dealers, gun stores, or some group of people voluntarily. It had nothing to do with guns. It was vape juice. When the regulation came down that in order to be able to sell a vape juice that was created, flavor or whatever, you had to submit it to the FDA for testing. And it was like $100,000 to get the test done. And a lot of vape companies went out of business because they can't afford it. And it was never actually enforced. So you basically had a whole bunch of business owners who voluntarily left the market, and the state didn't actually do the thing that would have put them out of business. They just put they put it out there that you had to do it, but then nobody ever actually did it. And who stayed in the market? RJ Reynolds and all the Chinese companies who are selling poison, but all the independent producers in the United States who were making their own vape juice, they were like, we can't afford $100,000 per flavor, so we're out.
I really do wish that, especially since the tax hike on gun, the excise tax, I wish all gun stores would just fucking fold, close up shop. I get it. It sucks for them because they got to feed the kids and do all that shit. But we have a shortage of auto technicians. Fucking go be a mechanic until that gets raped to oblivion.
Yeah, they're working on that too.
They are.
Yeah. And I have a real fatalist opinion about all of this stuff in general, which is that, and we've kind of talked about it over time, we're just too comfortable to really care about this stuff. We say we care, but if you took away all my guns from me right now, how much would my life really change? Not really that much.
Really that much.
So now I would feel like it changed, but it wouldn't actually change. And also the march of technology, you can't stop it. It's its own life form. I heard a comedian give this opinion about what the nature of technology actually is, that it's like a separate branch of life, and that it uses humans to perpetuate itself. And I thought it was silly at the time, but the longer I sit with that idea, the more I think maybe that's true. And we're not going to stop flock cameras. We're not going to stop, the surveillance state. We can't help ourselves. We cannot help ourselves. We are slaves to this stuff. And at some point, we're going to lose. And it's inevitable.
Well, I mean, I've said this for a while, and it's never appropriate in this podcast because it's a gun thing, and it is what it is. But I mean, the U.S. is a socialist country, whether we like it or not. You send your kids to socialist education systems. You drive on socialist roads. You register your vehicle. You like it's all of that stuff. And I tried to fight it, but to your point, it's more convenient to just to just do the thing. Getting your card impounded and paying $300 every single time just isn't advantageous. Going to court to fight the fucking tickets all the time just isn't advantageous. Yeah, like the flock shit scares the shit out of me. And I've thought like, man, this is the time to move to Mexico. And then you look at Mexico, and then now in Mexico, your phone is controlled by the government.
Yeah. Not to mention all the American drones that are probably tracking you.
No matter where the fuck you go.
Yeah.
We're kind
So
of
Max said everyone has to be fingerprinted through a CBI verified location, 5750. That's the background check.
yeah.
Um,
And then you have to get the state license, $500.
that's for SB 003, right?
No, this is for the FFL shit.
Oh, for their employees?
For the employees.
Okay.
Yeah, because there was I think it was the gun room, and many other gun stores. I have this to some gun stores. I have the standing offer. Like if shit gets crazy and you need somebody calls off, just let me know and I'll go help you out.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's just like you can't.
Yeah.
You can't do the background checks. You can't do anything. So
you can't be a floater.
I can't be a floater. Like,
yeah.
So before it was just like, yeah, fuck yeah, let's like it just whatever. Just trade, right? Give me ammo and I'll fucking go work for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
It never really happened, but that was always a standing offer. Now it's just like, even if I wanted to.
That's because nobody wanted to have you tell the customer how retarded they were for
fucking retarded.
Thanks for the offer, but we're good. Trying to move some Terran Tactical products here.
Nah. Yeah.
You know what the margin on night vision is?
Fucking staccato display comes as like, no, put this shit in the bag. You don't want that stupid garbage. Yeah, for sure.
He says you literally can't touch the guns, even deliveries. If you sign for deliveries, you have to have this shit done. That's crazy.
Nuts, dude.
Yeah.
It's nuts.
Yeah. So, the flock camera thing is like, I mean, there's only one direction this goes. And I talked to people and they're like, yeah, we should cut them down and everything. Like, these things are so cheap. I mean, they're expensive to me. If I had to buy a flock camera, it's expensive. But for flock, this is like, these cameras are inconsequential. And you can tell by how quickly they're going up everywhere. This is for the advantage that they're getting in the data collection. These cameras are basically free. So you go cut down all the ones you want, they're going to be back up again. And you're risking your entire future for, to make a statement. But that camera will be back in a week. And this time
they already have the data.
Yeah.
Like they already have it. If you drove through Denver, if you drove through any city who has the fucking
man, I got like a dozen of them within a mile of my house.
The information's already there.
Yeah.
We're at a point where like we talk about the nerds that don't want their names out and shit like that. It's done. You're fucked. Like it's already out. Unless you're a human who has zero record of being born in the United States and you haven't been out in public in a city recently, like it's your fucking face is there. I feel silly because when I go with TSA and I'm flying and they're gonna take my picture, I'm like, no, I decline. And I'm like, yeah, but like all the fucking other cameras in here already caught it and like my face is already everywhere. But there's one camera, I'm like, nah.
The only, like, I would say the only reason, but the main reason I do it is because I'm kind of interested to see what the reaction from the TSA agent is going to be. And you know what? 100% of the time, it's nothing. I say, I'm declining that. Okay, let me see your ID. All right, have a nice day, Mr. Chase.
I only had one person. He got a little pissy, and he said, "How come you didn't tell me as you were approaching?" I was like, "Because we hadn't communicated yet."
Yeah. Like, what else do you want to know about me when I first walk up?
We hadn't even said hello to each other or acknowledged each other.
Yeah. You're at the back of the line. By the way, I don't want you taking my picture.
I do not consent to see procedures. I know my rights.
Look at this fascist trying to take our pictures.
I know my rights.
So, I mean, to some degree, like you are giving up your agency every time you consent to it, you know, and so you're trying to stand up for yourself, but you already gave up all of that consent when you bought your ticket.
Pretty much.
So you gave it to the airline, you're giving it to TSA, you're giving it to whoever else wants that information. Cameras don't store the data, they just collect them. That's absolutely true. But yeah, I mean, they're already expanding the scope of these cameras and nobody can do anything about it. You know, people are going to the city council and they're getting the contracts canceled, but that doesn't mean the cameras are coming down.
Correct.
It just means that the cops aren't going to have access to it today.
Correct.
So,
correct. And
yeah,
I think that what you just said there was kind of this whole thing about SB 25003 and any other state that does something similar. It's as soon as you start to participate in, like, you've already consented to, I don't like freedom. You've already consented to, I'm okay with your tyranny. And I think that's the biggest problem here. That's the biggest issue. We can, maybe it's a weird line for me to draw. Maybe it's a weird place for me to be like, this is it. But it's like when I ran for office the very first time, my ideals were very different until I really worked on the Romney campaign. I was one of the managers for the Romney campaign, and then I got to sit with them in the back rooms. I got to campaign with the sons. I got to do all kinds of, politically speaking, cool shit from that side of it. But you really peek behind the curtain. And for me, that was like, okay, I need to draw the line here. Now I know both Republicans and Democrats politically are fucking full of shit. They're all fucking garbage. They asked Massey what's the least what's the least libertarian thing you've ever done. He's like, get elected. And I mean, that's the attitude, is just like, by me being in this fucking political arena makes me a fucking tyrant. It makes me, I've lost something. And there's a motivation. Again, you and I have a reason why we still do the concealed carry classes, but we have to accept that even that is still kind of participating in a bullshit process that resells rights back. So call it hypocritical, call it weird. But I think there's better routes for SB 25003. And if you're an instructor who's making money off of it, you helped the Democrats. And I usually don't like to say the Democrats because it's the anti-gun play. Not every Democrat is anti-gun, and I have to respect that. But in this particular case, all of the politicians that voted for this happened to have been Democrats. Now you just helped them, and you're going to continue helping them because now you've shown that being law-abiding is more important to you than respecting the Constitution.
Yeah. I think if you as a citizen went to go buy one of these guns and you said, what do I got to do to buy one? And the gun shop owner's like, well, you got to do all this stuff. You got to take this class. But I'm going to tell you right now, there are no instructors. So really, there's no way for you to buy one of these guns. That might be the only thing that motivates people to actually get involved in the process to get the law overturned.
Yeah. Or very easily. I don't think it's out of the question for many gun stores to be like, I'm just going to set up shop in neighboring states.
Mm-hmm.
Very close, right? Kansas is not that far away from the Denver metro area. Like, it's Wyoming's not terribly far from the Denver metro area. We did that shit in 45 minutes when we did our whole shebang.
Yeah.
Super gray area, super fucking weird. And I'm not even saying that it's legal. I'm just saying I can go to Wyoming and buy a gun, bring it back to the state of Colorado. Now we can sit here and split hairs on how legal that is starting August 1st, 2025 or 2026. But I'm also of the mind that if I truly mean freedom, I couldn't give two fucks about what that line is. And by the way, I'll figure it out, and then it's a path to the Supreme Court.
Mm-hmm.
Say I, as a citizen, shouldn't have to go all the way to Wyoming to buy an AR-15 that they sold me gladly. And they gave it to me that same day. And I passed the background check, and I still went through the process because I can buy AR-15 handguns. A little bit weird, but private sales are a thing in the United States. There's ways.
There's ways. There's always a way.
There's ways.
Yeah. All right. So you got a class coming up June 6th?
Yeah, I might cancel it if we don't get some more signups for that shit. But June 6th, I've got an IDS class coming up. This is a defensive course, not a concealed carry class. It does happen to qualify you to obtain your concealed handgun permit, but that's not what it's for. It is an 8-hour course, but again, that's June 6th. That's June 6th.
All right. And then, yeah, so we are going to be updating our summer calendar soon. I got a schedule for July coming up. And if you're not in Colorado, I would encourage you to look up the IDS courses that might be near you. Go to Intuitive Defensive Shooting, or just Google Intuitive Defensive Shooting or IDS.
Right now, PDNTrainingTour.com, or just Google it, PDN Training Tour, and you'll see plenty of them. Or host us. Isaac and I will fucking travel if it all makes sense and we could figure it out. If you need one in New Mexico, in Utah, and in Wyoming, we could do that. I know there's an instructor in Wyoming, but if it makes sense, we'll fucking go to the place where you're at, for sure.
Cool. All right. Thanks, Max and Tisha and whoever else was. Miguel, for being in the comments. And hopefully we will not need any more breaks over the summer. We'll see. I only had a break last time because I was traveling and I was ready. Edgar is the one who pitched out.
Yeah, for sure. 100%. I still haven't slept since that day because I've been rocking back and forth.
I'm sorry. Yeah. All right. Do all the things.